Hi, my name is Adam Mayer, and the ethical dilemma that I faced was deciding whether or not to tell my close friend that he was being cheated on by a significant other. Although I realized that it was not my job to intervene in every aspect of my friend's personal life, I did feel that it was my job to act on behalf of his own good. When questioning whether or not to inform him about the situation, I analyzed 3 ethical principles that included truthfulness, beneficence, and fairness. When analyzing the first ethical principle of truthfulness, I had to ask myself whether or not hiding this information from him was being totally honest. I also realized that in order to comply with absolute truthfulness, that would require me to inform him about the situation, regardless of the fact that he didn't ask, and regardless of the fact that he knew nothing about it. The second ethical principle of beneficence means that one acts in a way that will benefit others and really seems to do what would be best for the common good. In this situation, I thought about whether or not it would benefit my friend more, if I told him or if I kept it to myself. In the end, I thought if my friend knew, he would be able to deal with it himself, and that the benefits seemed to outweigh the negatives. The third ethical principle that I analyzed was fairness. I thought about whether or not it was totally fair that I keep my friend in the dark and not alert him about the information that I knew regarding his relationship. I also realized that if I were in his shoes, I would expect and want him to alert me about the situation. I have a visual aid here that I got from theicebreak.com. There's a chart showing a poll between the men and women on whether or not they would alert a friend that was being cheated on. It shows that 73% of men would in fact tell their friend, and that 72% of women would also tell their friend. It shows that 8% of women would not tell their friends, and that 5% of men would also not tell their friend. 17% of men said that it depends on the situation and on how close they were with this friend, while 15% of women said the same thing. 5% of both men and women said that they would confront the cheater instead of their friend about the situation. After analyzing the situation and the 3 ethical principles earlier discussed, I decided to tell my friend and inform him about what was going on. Even though it seemed to me that it might not be relevant because it had been so long ago that his partner had committed the act of infidelity, I realized that it was still pertinent to his relationship because it was still ongoing. In the end, he was unable to regain the trust that he had lost from his partner, and they did break up. But I was definitely glad that I told him, and so was he. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I wouldn't change my decision, because I felt that it complied perfectly with the 3 ethical principles discussed, and I'm glad that it benefited my friend in the way it did. Thank you.